Well, this is the pieces of cardboard that I cut out just haphazardly, just kind of set in here, but this will go down in like so, and that will be like so. The piece that bevels around here I got to cut, and then this will be folded over, and then the piece that will go in here, which will be easy to form with the body hammer. But I'll get all this tacked in. I'll have to make a little piece to tie in there, and then this will be here like so. So that kind of gives you an idea of the cardboard template for the sheet metal I'm cutting out. Then I'll start working it and tacking it in, and sometimes you have to adjust a little bit, trim here or there, sand or grind a little here and there on the sheet metal. And I still got to grind the paint off all the surfaces I'm going to weld to, but I'm going to start cutting out the sheet metal and getting it fit, and then I'll mark out where I need to grind on there, and then I'll clean it up and start tacking it on. Well, this is going to be two of the panels I'm going to cut out to repair that big hole in the trunk. The piece that kind of bevels around there I got to cut out yet, and then there will be one other piece on kind of over on this side of this one I got to cut out yet, but I thought I would get these cut out and tacked in, then I can make that piece and this little piece over here and tack it in. And the other day when I went to cut that floor brace out, I had the camera on the wrong setting, so I didn't get any video of it. So today I'll try and get a little video. Hopefully it turns out this time. Go back and look at my past videos, you'll see in the Christmas lights that I made some snowflakes for the hang on the front porch, and I cut those out just like this, except I made the snowflakes out of a paper pattern like a kindergartner would do, and traced them on the sheet metal, cut them out, and just spray painted them with Rust-Oleum, and then gold or silver glitter depending on the colors that I painted the snowflake. So that's how I cut the sheet metal out for the body repairs, and I cut the slits where I got to bend it and stuff, and then I'll fit that in. I got to put a few bends in this. It's got to be bent there and there, and bent here and here, and this has some bends in it there and there. So I'll just go in and work them with the body hammer and my bending metal brake, and get everything kind of in place and tacked in. Then I'll make the remaining two pieces that I didn't make yet. Alright, got all the sheet metal welded in, and what I will do next is I will grind these welds out along here, and maybe a little body filler to neaten that up. This will be caulked with a GM or similar seam sealer like the factory originally used. I spot welded that about every 2 or 3 inches. I still have to weld the brace underneath to that because it was wet, because when it gets, I kept squirting it down, keep it wet so I won't get the undercoating on fire. And so tomorrow when it's dried out, I'll weld the brace to the sheet metal, and that part of the patch will be done, and maybe tomorrow I'll start on that hole and that hole, and I think these will be opposites of one another, so I'll just make the one piece and then fold the cardboard the opposite way, and if it fits I'll make the other piece and just do both these holes at the same time, make both the braces and then both the repair panels. But that looks pretty darn good once the weld's ground out and a little bit of filler here and there. I think it'll look as good as that. And just put seam sealer around the wheel well like what was originally there. I had a spot weld that went up here and there was some rust in that, so I ground it out and put a little piece of sheet metal there too. And So yeah, it's coming along good. No more hole there. Can't put your fist through there anymore. That was a good fist size hole there. So that's all good and solid. Another note, when I talk about a seam sealer, I'm talking about like this kind of stuff here. General Motors put along the seams after they spot welded them, just keep water from coming in. So I think that sealer around that lip will be, I don't want to put body filler on it because body filler isn't flexible and it'll just crack and break. The seam sealer is flexible, so it'll move as the car flexes a little bit. It is, like I say, spot welded every couple inches, so I don't think that'll flex enough to crack or move the seam sealer. But like I say, if you don't weld, if you're going to put body filler on your joint, you got to weld 100% of it. If you leave an inch open, you'll have a crack there. Water will get in there and bust the filler out. So you got to have a good weld the full length of the seam and where you put body filler. Otherwise, it's just going to crack and show through in no time, and the seam sealer won't crack. So I'll do a little video when I get the braces made and in there before I put the sheet metal over it, and that's just flat sheet metal on both sides, so that'll be super easy repair on the sheet metal. The brace underneath, you know, because it's on, comes across and then goes on a little bit of an angle, that'll take a little bit more work, but it shouldn't be bad. I think those two back holes will be pretty easy fixes. I think I can get the braces made and welded in a day, and maybe even get the sheet metal on the top in the same day. We'll see. I'm not like, this is a winter project, not an everyday driver, so I just putz with it when I can and as I feel like, and I don't really try and rush and get things done immediately. I just putz along, and it comes out all right. I think this is going to be in the trunk under the mat, out of sight, and the underneath looks good. This will look good, so I think that'll be just fine. It's definitely better than if somebody would have fiberglassed or just, you know, left it or pop. You know, you see people that just pop rivet sheet metal in and cover up holes. That does no good. You got to really weld in new metal. It's the only way to fix them. So that's just a little bit of update on what I did today.